What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel where you subscribe to get daily updates on Bitcoin. In today's video, before we go over Bitcoin, we're going to look at the Dow Jones, gold, and the DXY before we go into the Bitcoin charts. I'm going to show you what I'm seeing, show you what to look out for, and let's get into it. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice, trading advice, nor is it investment advice. Always do your own due diligence and your own research before investing or trading in any markets. Before we begin, I want to remind you, we are doing a Ledger Nano S giveaway. We're doing that on Sunday by picking a random comment from a random video throughout the week. All you have to do to enter to win is make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Make sure you smash that like button, the thumbs up down there, and then make sure you leave a comment because that's how you will be entered to win. You can either pick the Ledger Nano S or $50 in Bitcoin. If you win, let's get into it. Looking at the Fear and Greed Index, we are at 61. We dropped 14 points from yesterday. We were at 75. Let's see what's going on. So this is the Dow Jones chart that I wanted to look at. If you guys are paying attention to what's going on in the world, we are almost to the election, and I do believe there's going to be unrest at the election. I could be dead wrong. I'm just giving you guys my point of view. Make up your own minds, but I don't see it going well either direction, whichever way it goes. But let's take a look at before we had the dump back here with the pandemic back in March on the Dow. Let's get rid of the RSI for a minute and just take a quick look at this. And it does look like we could be setting up to see the exact same thing. It does look like a dump coming. I've been talking about the biggest money grab in history coming this year before the end of the year. I do think that's possible. It could run into next year, and I'll show you why on the Bitcoin chart. But let's take a look at where we dumped here past the 55 EMA on the daily, which is where we're at right now. You can see in the white circle here. Now let's look at where we were in the RSI at that point. If we take a look at this first and we take a line right from where we crossed here, that was right here on the RSI, just above this dip over here. So keep an eye on that and take a good look at this. And then we move over to what's happening now. It looks like almost identical, guys. We're below the 55 EMA right here. We are getting rejected at it currently on the daily in the Dow. The 200 EMA lies around the 26,780 range. We'll see what happens when we get there. If you look over here, when we did get down there, we dropped below it, came back up, tried to retest, didn't quite make it. And then obviously you guys know what happened after that. This is what I'm looking at in the Dow. Like I said, it could go the total opposite way. It could just shoot up crazy. But another thing I wanted to discuss is how people talk about getting into gold and getting into the dollar when this crashes. And if you take a look at when the crash happened, this is what happened to gold. Gold went down right along with it. We're going to take a look at the dollar index too here in a second. I do think there's great trading opportunities coming ahead. Make your own decisions on which way you think it's going to go. But this is one way I'm looking at gold. If this is an ABC correction, we should come back down to around the $1,800 range. The measured move of breaking out of this rising channel that we were in here is 1847. But I do look for this to be an ABC correction at least. That's probably the best case scenario in my opinion. And if we look at the RSI here, we are running straight across and we're going down here. That's bearish divergence. And if you guys are interested in trading, you can trade gold, silver, Forex, crypto, oil, everything on Prime XBT. I will leave a tutorial up top. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. You can trade all that stuff by just using your Bitcoin as collateral. They don't trade against you. It's not you won't see the big scam wicks that you see on other exchanges. That's why I prefer them. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. You can use my promo code Savy50 to get you 50% on top of whatever you deposit as a bonus. Savy50 will get you 25% off of your fees. And you can have multiple trades in multiple directions. You don't have to start other accounts to redo it to put a trade in the opposite direction. Let's look at the DXY. You can see same thing. Everybody talks about the dollar goes up, Bitcoin goes down, or the dollar goes up, the Dow goes down. Everything falls along with that. And I talk about it all the time in the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, there's a link down below. But I talk about it all the time. Smart money will not tell you what they're doing with their money. As you can see, they did not put it in the dollar here. They did not put it in the gold. They did not put it in Dow. They did not put it in Bitcoin at this crash. What they tell you is where they want you to put your money so they can dump into you. That's my view and my opinion. So you don't find out where their money is until it's too late. And then when you FOMO into wherever it is they put their money in, they're dumping on you again there. Be careful. This is my wife's webpage. If you want to help support the channel, inkyourimage.com. There's a link down below with my other affiliate links down there that also help the channel out. She makes a lot of crypto stuff on here. She could put anything you want. It doesn't have to be crypto related, or it could be any other project or whatever you want. Just hit her up in the contact if you have any questions. And let's take a look at the monthly. Our monthly closes in what, 4 days, I think it is. And if you look at the price action by using the candles, the body, we are making higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the RSI. Now, what I want to point out is if we do close the RSI above this level on the monthly RSI, which is around 1612, that will eliminate that bearish divergence. But until we do that, then I am going to remain bearish in the macro here. But as you can see, that is bearish divergence if we close in this area. Price is rising, volume declining. Whoops. Sorry about that. Let's look at the weekly. Same thing. Higher highs now, all the way from over here. Lower highs in the RSI, bearish divergence. And I've been looking at the bullish case scenario. Would be looking at these white trend lines here as a symmetrical triangle, would be up to the $27,000 to $28,000 range. And if you look at the yellow falling broadening wedge here from the breakout, would be about $16,000 as the bullish case. Now, that is definitely possible. I'm going to show you my opinion. My opinion is just my opinion, but let's see what I am looking at. Now, if we look at the volume here, still declining. On the weekly, price is still rising. And this is what we've been looking at. We did close below this top trend line here, and we have been looking at this since all the way back in January. So this could be what tells us if we are actually in a bull run. If we close a weekly above this trend line, which that means Sunday, if we close above this, then I am going to be bullish. If we close below this, obviously I remain bearish. What I do believe we could possibly be seeing here, and remember, the RSI follows the body of the candle, not the wick. So the wick could go all the way up to, 15 whatever, and still the body closed down below this at around the 13 or 12.5 or whatever, and it would be bearish. Now let's take a look at what I think is happening here. It looks like a A, B, C, D, E. And after that E would be the prime opportunity to buy or long Bitcoin if you're trading it. And that, by looking at what's going on here, if this was to play out this way, we would be looking at the first to second quarter of next year bottoming out. Will that happen? I have no idea, but I do believe that is my opinion of what's going on right now. All right, let's take a look at the daily. So on the daily, we had been looking at this as a rising broadening wedge, and I've been talking about a daily open and close above this trend line here. I'm going to remove these now and focus more on the rising broadening wedge that we've been looking at. Let me get these out of there, and I like to do this stuff while you guys are watching, so you know I'm not just switching up on charts. We have not changed this rising broadening wedge. Now, if we take a look at the RSI here, same thing. We're making higher highs in the price, lower highs in the RSI. We can come all the way up on the daily to the 8650. And that could happen today, tomorrow, whenever, this week. But getting a rejection here and coming down would match up with this between 14,100 and 14,200, which is the top of this rising broadening wedge. Now a break and an open and close of a daily above this, obviously it's full on bull, crazy bull market, like a lot of people think is already happening. I'm not there yet. I do not believe it is. I still think we're going to see some lower prices. Let's take a look at this rising wedge. The target of that, depending on when and where if we get down to the bottom here, you can see the 200 EMA is right now about 10,300, but it will still rise even as this falls just because of how much it rose here. If we do come back down to test this bottom trend line here of the rising broadening wedge, which is a bearish formation, would be around the 10.5 to 10.6, and the measured move down from there would be about 6,600 area. Be aware that is definitely possible, and be aware we still have CME gaps in the 8-hour all the way down at the 35.70. Not saying it's going to go there, but we have seen flash crashes do some crazy stuff, so be aware of that. But otherwise, if we do break above this top trend line, depending on where, our measured move from that point would be up to around the $18,000 range. And that's a break of this trend line here. I would like to see at least a daily open or close above this. So keep an eye on that. And let's take a look at the 4-hour. So the 4-hour, this is gonna all depend on if we have topped out here, which it is looking more and more like we're gonna go to that 14.1 to 14.2 range. We were looking at this as a rising wedge. I am currently gonna move this down and look at this. We can look at it as the rising wedge going this way, or we can look at the rising broadening wedge. Either way, that's bearish looking. Let's see, if we were to drop out over here, would be around that $6,600 range, so that would line up. But let's talk about where we're at. If this is the top, which again, I think we can get up and retest this top trend line here, which is going to be between 14.1 and 14.2 area, depending when we hit it. Then all these targets for our retracements, I'm going to move those retracement targets there, assuming we're going up to that 14.1 area. If we do, let's take a look at this, and I'll show you some other things that line up pretty good. Whoops, let me go back. All right, so if that happens, we get up to that 14.1 range, then our retracement levels are the 0.236 fib at 11,750, and then we have the 0.382 at 10,200. And if you look, all these numbers make a lot of sense. They're lining up with all this support and resistance all the way across here. And the 0.786 would be around the 7720, and I want to show you guys, as you can see, this red trend line going across, that has been major support and resistance. I've had this trend line here since way back here. I made it back in December 19. So that would make sense, and it would hit the golden pocket zone, which is between 74.50 and 77.70 area. And then we have the 0.786 all the way down to right around the $6,000 range. Now, them are the retracement levels if we get up to that 10,000, or I'm sorry, 14,100 to 14,200 range. And I would expect that to most likely happen this week if it does happen. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at, guys. We'll take a quick look at Litecoin. We had put the Fibonacci retracements on the swing low to swing high. The highest I see this going is about 63.24. If it can pass the golden pocket zone, which we are currently getting rejected at. And the same exact thing goes for Ethereum. We're getting rejected at the golden pocket zone. So anyways, that is today's update. I appreciate each and every one of you stopping by to check it out. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Click the CryptoSavvy logo above my head to get you subscribed to the channel for daily updates. And I'll see you tomorrow.